And that culture is kingdom. We learned the church culture though. We got that down pat. You know, clap when you're supposed to. You know, come when you're supposed to. Give when you're supposed to. But God wants us to transition into a kingdom culture. Amen? And that kingdom culture becomes a community where there's a common unity. Yeah, that's what made the first century church so strong. I hear people always say, where the power of God? What happened to all the miracles? Because we missed the most important part of Pentecost. The unification of a people group. From different backgrounds. Right? And even those outside of the room heard what was happening in the room by the Spirit in their own language. So there's no language barrier.
Come on.
I ain't understand what Pastor Law. I don't know what you're talking about. What you mean I got to? Hold on. The Pentecostal Spirit removes all barriers. Not male, female, Barbarian, Scythian, Jew or Greek, Galatians 3. There's no barriers. Why? Because he's no respect to a person. Everybody under the sound of my voice have access to the things I communicate. We need a community. We use in the modern contemporary church, we use like apostolic community, prophetic community, kingdom community. We got the label. We don't know what's in the can. What's the substance of what we speak? Communities is a unified body of individuals, a group of people who once again has common characteristic traits. So there's a commonality. There is a point of reference that every person is exposed to. Y'all got that? It's a social state or condition. So there's a condition. When we talk about community, we're talking about there's a condition. And when we really divulge ourselves, when we really participate, because part of that community is partnership. When we really says, you know what, I'm my brother's keeper. When we really get to that point where you are a community where you're sharing the experiences with one another. Yes. You know, the experience you have lived out privately, yes. Now you have a public testimony to share within the body. Yes. Where believers are undergoing transformative changes together. We're on that road of recovery together. Yes. We're submitting to the will and purpose of God together. Yes. Not pick and choosing. As a unit. A common unity. That's what community means, right? All the while, everybody's on the potter's wheel. Being formed, being forged in the fire. With one objective. So that we can see eye to eye. So that the image of Christ can be brought forth out of who we have been called to become. Yes. Yeah. And this community is not based upon casual conversation. Because y'all good at that. People are good at that. Yeah. They're good. They can talk about this, talk about that. I like talking about basketball. I like talking about sports. I like talking about, hey, I talk about politics. You know what I'm saying? I diversify. My portfolio is diverse, but it's just something in me when you can just talk about him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When you can get people to see eye to eye with you. Oh, that's Wednesday. When we get them to see eye to eye with you, and there's a witness in your spirit when you converse with them, and then not just that one courtesy call. When I'm talking about having a true dialogue, I'm talking about when you get off the phone, even though it rubs you wrong. You know it's right. You say, you know what? I really don't like talking to them because every time they bring up Jesus, it really rubs them wrong. Yeah. God's trying to get you closer. That's all. He's trying to provoke you. That's all. He's using that individual iron sharpens iron. You need to receive that. That engrafted word that's able to change you. See, when we start getting into real covenant, see, that's another thing. the covenant, because sometimes when you go in covenant, sometimes when you bleed on others. So there's a bleeding that takes place, because you got to understand that there is a shedding of blood. And because in your blood is life. And so there's going to be some wounds that happen. But thank God we know the great physician. And so, but I'm here to tell you, if we're going to be able to be that authentic, true, common community as laid out in the book of Acts, right? Because that is the, what I call the first glory. That is the original pattern, right? We're not trying to reinvent the wheel, but it's some principles laid out there. When we really get into true community and grace is forged in the midst of us and we are able to receive and esteem each other and honor each other, the outcome of these things, that comes from knowing each other's hearts, the outcome of those things bring fruit that are eternal. When we understand that, tell you that we need to understand this. That real community as they had, we can honestly say they were fitly framed together. Yes. When we are fitly framed together, because that's a message we have about t-shirts on it. Yes. Yeah. I don't know if y'all still, that's what we do. Because it looks good. It sounds good. Those 3 words sound good. But I want the implementation of those words. Yeah. See, because most of the time you can be framed but not fitly. It can just be framed. That's when you have your A and B selections and stuff. That's just framed.
Right.
Yeah. I get it. That's when you have to come to church at, you're supposed to be here at 10:30, right? That's when when the worship's going to get up for about 45 minutes. All that is fitly framed. That's framed. But we need it fitly framed. And we need it together. See, we need a community that is together, on the same page. See, that when we're together, fitly framed together in a true community, is when we can recognize the image of God in each person, and in one another. And then we can value that person with their unique beliefs, even with their quirks. Even though, they're a little bit outside of my scope. Maybe, let me just help y'all out. I'm just going to help you because your tolerance is low. I'm just going to help you out. One part of that tolerance low is pride. And the other end of that spectrum is patience. You don't have it.
Right.
So God is trying to work out your patience.
Yes.
Amen? I'm just telling you.
Amen.
It's one of the fruit of the Spirit.
Yes.
He's going to get it to you one way or another.
Say that.
It may not be with those that are part of this ministry.
Right.
But hey, with me, I already know. When I get in the car, I'm searching for that fruit. I'm just being honest. I'm just going to be transparent. I get behind the car, it's 40 and they go 35.
All right.
Jesus. Oh, Lord. My wife can tell you. She'd be like, I'd be like, what? Won't you move a little further? One time I was in the car with King, and I did a little thing. I went around the car. King said, Papa, that's 2 solid lines. You're right. You know what that means, right?
Yeah.
Rule of the road, huh? 5-year-old telling me. But guess what? I can't do it with him in the car. So we can have unique beliefs and perspectives. We can have different gifts, different experiences. We bring that all in community. We are actually what they call gumbo.
Yes.
Different background.
Yes.
Our history is totally different.
Yes, it is.
It's not the same. That's so beautiful though. But there's times when you get with somebody because you prejudge them on somebody else's other commentary on, and you get around and find out, well, they ain't half bad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that's when you got to stop. You got to tune out somebody else's editorial.
Amen.
I never receive on third person because sometimes they're jealous and don't want you to get close. Yeah, it's too much to work with to try to figure that out. So I just rather be transparent and find out for myself. Then if it's wrong, I'll be like, yeah, you're right. No, I'm just kidding. But we got to bring all of those quirks into community. And those things got to be worked out. Right? You know, some folks just jump ship. They don't want to be bothered with nobody. They don't want to see nobody. They don't want to get next to nobody. They don't look like them, talk like them, act like them.
Amen. Yep.
That ain't the church I know. I'm sorry, y'all. Even though it's supposed to have everybody in there the same.
Right.
Y'all missed that one.
Yeah.
I'm here to tell you. That's why somehow we got to perfect some things. We got to change some things. Right?
Good.
Could I throw this out there? Let me help y'all. If your tolerance is a little low. Let me help you out. You can never be right with God and wrong with others.
Amen.
And I did that. No, you're wrong. I'm going to say it again for the ones in the back. You can never be right with God and wrong with others. Ever. And John is a full of a book. It's a lot of love in there. A whole bunch of love. And it'll tell you, if you don't love your brother whom you see, you can't love God.
Amen.
And if you can't be around them, there's something in there. If when they come around you just like, just hives. Oh, is she gonna get? You look at the phone, oh Lord. I'm gonna let it go to voice. Like God ain't there. Right? God sees it. Because he gonna make sure. You gonna go to Walmart and all of a sudden she gonna show up in your house. He gonna get it to you. Am I right, y'all? I'm serious. He gonna work that thing. That's full of soul. That's part of the full of soul. That's a part of the refining. That's a part of being shaped and molded into community. Because there's an edge in you that needs to be brought into the wholeness of the community. There's a oneness that has to happen. And when that thing shows up, come up on your screen, your mental screen, you need to be proactive with that thing. You ain't supposed to let that thing fester. Jesus told us when you got something against your brother, put that gift on the altar. And go be reconciled. Don't pray. Don't fast. Don't call somebody on the telephone and try to get them to agree with you.
Come on.
No,